Meet Charles Caswell, a man whose time with the band Reflections has come to an end, and he's decided instead to rebrand himself as a solo artist with the occasional collab. He then starts releasing his own one-man band style music that's super distinct and immediately recognizable by crafting guitar compositions with tons of digital tools like pedals, kill switches, his fucking feet, I don't know. But not only does he write interesting compositions, he also programs his own drums, writes all of the bass that his wife plays crazily enough. He mixes and masters all of his own tracks. He films his own playthroughs also with the help of his fucking wife. Everything about these two is self-made and perfectly embodies the idea that musicians don't need to rely on like fancy labels or mega corporations to succeed anymore. Looking at you, Metallica. So with this like self-made, highly relatable approach to musicianing in the modern age, you'd think that Charles would be inspiring. Someone people see as a highly motivational artist that shows off a whole new way of doing things, right? No. Interestingly enough, as Charles developed his newer, highly digital sound more and more, a fairly decent-sized controversial stigma seemed to follow.
This barrage of criticism that people like himself have been getting.
While embracing his quirky, chromatic, and highly produced-sounding guitar phrases, often recorded with a multitude of like alien-sounding effects, the result was that Berried Alive's music was sometimes being labeled as cheating or fake playing. People were upset that Charles might not actually be capable of playing the music that he writes, and is instead using techniques like half-speed recording, frequent punch-ins, other modern recording tricks that other people know better than me to create a perfect sounding guitar. Now, before we go forward, we have to address exactly what Charles is doing and why people think it's a problem. Influencers, on Instagram mainly, I guess, have been caught claiming their videos are 100% raw, authentic, one-take playthroughs, like the old school, genuine, fucking recorded that on a piece of duct tape, man. When in reality, they use technology to speed up, clean up, or apply makeup to their videos, specifically to sell a product. Or win a contest, even.
And he won prizes because of that. And it was so obviously faked. I mean, check this out.
I think the main issue here is sometimes there is a lie being told that directly translates to money being made or contests being won even.
It's not honest to the audience. It's not fake, but what I like to call it is embellished reality. If
you're honest and you admit that using technology in your music is like part of the process, like you're like, yeah, I program all this stuff, like a la the algorithm, who just programs all of his guitars because they sound like programmed guitars, and it sounds dope, and it's sick as fuck, and it's good, and everyone loves it. Firstly, let's hear from one of the biggest voices on the platform who's got some real serious insight into the matter based on his long track record of music producing, right? Our very own Jared Dines in his now taken down video.
Honestly, K-Mac hit the nail on the head with this one. K-Mac did the most amazing parody of this. I think what we see there is that he's pre-recorded his parts, obviously, because there's guitars happening that he cannot physically play. There's harmonies happening, right? So we know he pre-recorded his parts. What does it sound like raw? I don't know. That doesn't look sped up to me. That just seems to be pre-recorded. Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds like...
Whoa! That is some scathing criticism right there, dude. So basically, he says nothing of merit. He says nothing. He doesn't say anything. He hardly actually accuses or defends anyone in the video except for like Miguel with his famous glitchy hand. But he does touch on the Berried Alive clearly having pre-recorded guitars going on, which is and he's clearly miming in his playthrough. Like, yeah, he's miming, which is fine, and that's about it. I mean, there's nothing more to add to this whole thing. Thanks, Jared. I get why you deleted the video. Next up in the Berried Alive firing squad, with hopefully something to actually contribute to this whole thing, is Davidas. I'm so dumb. Another fellow YouTube musician comedian. Boy, are we a fucking dime a dozen now, aren't we?
Have you ever ever like entered a competition, like a cycling competition that's drug free, and then somebody on steroids wins and then writes a book of how wonderful their career has been and to inspire other people, but it turns out the entire time they were using steroids?
No, Mr. Dobby, I have never entered a contest like that because I play guitar. Charles plays guitar, and more specifically, he does not play guitar in competitions. So I don't know what he means by money and wins here. Like, I don't even think he claims to play live shows. So why is he relating it to a bike contest? He simply plays guitar in his room and puts it on his socials for his own fans. Like, that's fine. Apparently, there are people who actually speed up their actual contest submission videos which go on to win the contest, which... whoa, is like, which is where all of this hate should basically be directed. At no point could I find anyway did Charles ever say everything you're about to hear was recorded in one take with no fret wraps, and also I used only one hand and all the harmonies were recorded at the same time and it's all in real. Like, no miming whatsoever. He never said that. He's just doing his own thing in his own room, and you, Mr. Dobby, are just bursting into his apartment to yell at him and tell him that he's like cheating at something. Also, what does wins here mean? Is Dobby mad that Charles is making money? Does he think that someone that writes his own music and like someone who spends all their time producing his music shouldn't be making money? That's insane.
I'm not saying they can't ride a bicycle. I'm just saying they cheated.
Cheated at what, Dobby? If you're not saying he can't play guitar, then you just admitted he can play the stuff. So if he could play like 90% of his music live naturally, but he just chooses to edit and quantize it when he releases it, like his playing is now just like obsolete. Is that I'm starting to get the vibe that everyone here is just jealous that Charles found a way to like make music that he enjoys, and the way he enjoys making it, and everyone who does it the old way just fucking hates it because they're like, this sounds different and it's cheating. But it's not. It's just putting technology in the mix, right?
And what do you care if other people print money? They print their own $100 bills that are fake, and they buy things that you can't buy.
Okay. Yep. Dobby just wants more money. This isn't about music anymore. It's about money that should only belong to true musicians like Dobby.
Sounds absolutely beautiful. How does he play when somebody else films it?
How does Ichika play guitar while someone else films him? I don't know, maybe by playing guitar while someone else films him? Like, Dobby, how exactly do you think guitar playthroughs are made? Like, do you think they film themselves playing the guitar while they play guitar? Also, Ichika absolutely sounds like this, and exactly like this in real life, because all of his videos are real and all of his videos sound like this, because Ichika is quite simply our collective guitar god. So really all of this, and the fact that some doctored videos were winning contests and getting past other judges, all that really proves is that like at least half the people talking about this, the fake guitar playing, can't really fucking tell the difference themselves. Next up is like the identified fucking sniper, like number 3 of the Buried Alive hit squad, Next up is Mr. Levi Clay.
And when you're trying to sell product at the end of it, this makes you a piece of shit. He is misrepresenting what he does as a guitar player so he can make money.
See, interesting. Like, is he though? Because I don't think he is. Like, if you watch Buried Alive and you think, wow, that's a single take of authentic, raw, like no post editing at all, like, then you have assumed something, sir, that Charles did not ever say, I'm pretty sure. Like, Charles never claimed to be like a live performer. I know that he like goes to shows locally in his area, and I know that he supports the music scene, but I think he just like makes videos online and just like pushes the boundaries of tools and his own playing, but doesn't like want to play out to shows live is all.
Don't be put off by the fact that you've been practicing for 5 hours a day, every day for the last 10 years, and you are nowhere near as good as they will ever be.
Regardless of your time spent practicing, if you're missing the adaptation of technology, you won't sound like a technology sounding artist. I mean, like a lot of them out there, you know? Again, I don't see Levi's point here, really, actually. Like, amateur guitar players shouldn't feel bad when they watch Charles. Like, what about when they watch players like amazing traditional live players like Angel Vivaldi or Ichika? Are they supposed to feel motivated? Because this guy makes me want to quit guitar playing like at least 3 times a week. If anything, Charles should inspire you, because the highlights on like how modern recording tools can be used to teach ourselves is insanely creative. They're really cool techniques. It's a good thing. It's good. It's fucking good. Jack Gardner. He stopped gardening and he picked up a rifle.
If someone genuinely said, listen, I'm using this as a composition tool, you know, fair dues, but be transparent about it and be authentic. Don't try and blag these people that what you're doing is actually real and live in the room.
I agree. I think maybe if we hear the words from an artist that like they do use technology and that it's okay to do the things that they're doing, then it is fair, right? If only we had that, right? We have that, don't we?
Whatever music you want to make, whether you gotta speed things down or speed things up.
Oh, cool. There you go. So Charles just said that you shouldn't be afraid to like write music however you want to, whether you slow things up or speed things up or slow things up again.
Speed things up.
What? We got him, boys. Mission accomplished.
What do you mean we got him? Like he just totally came clean and he was like all transparent, like all you wanted, and you're like, you got him? Got him what? Well, it certainly wasn't a present for New Year. Look, I think at this point in the video, it's pretty clear that, like, to me at least, that there's some unspoken rules of guitar, right? Like, do we need a regulated disclaimer law for guitar videos now? In the past, since technology was like so primitive and limiting, a guitarist had to be a live guitarist with no influence from technology at all. Like Jimi Hendrix or Yngwie Malmsteen or like John Petrucci, all of like, you know, these guys that just like deserve to be without question on guitar magazines and talked about for so long that we all basically just skim read the articles. But Charles is a very new phenomenon, or at least was, before I missed this train like 4 years ago because I'm bad at making shit. But he's a very new phenomenon of guitar player anyway that embraces technology and all the differences that come with it. And when people start to imagine Charles in the same magazine alongside Yngwie, they like explode with anger because he took a different approach. Or, as Drusif so eloquently puts it,
bro, I know you're not faking, dude. I knew the whole time. I fucking support you, dude. You're so sick, bro. I wake up and I fucking chug a milkshake made out of your greatness. Just don't tell people that you sound good because you practiced so much. Maybe you did practice. You practiced fucking using a DAW. You goddamn fucking...
Mr. Leon Todd also jumps in the mix and lobs a grenade labeled like, think of the kids at Charles, discussing like how harmful it is to lie to kids about skills.
Kids are looking at that. Young aspiring guitar players are watching that, not knowing that it's sped up and not knowing that it's actually probably impossible to do. You're doing a massive disservice to the guitar community. I don't think there's anything wrong either with like, you know, speeding something up and then practicing a lot to get it to sound like that. But again, you have to be transparent with your audience.
First off, I hate thinking about kids. Screw your kids. I don't ever want to think about your kids unless it's because I see one fall down in public. We've already been over the fact that like anyone that watches Berried Alive should probably just get as depressed as watching a Jason Richardson video. But like both of these people should inspire you, not make you want to quit. If you want to quit when you watch these guys, maybe it's because you just really want to fucking quit. I see no problem with the kid looking up, like watching a Berried Alive video and thinking, wow, you have to play guitar really hard and you have to make it sound like it's also like 8-bit video game shred hard edited perfect music. There actually is like a self-proclaimed poster boy of traditional live audio playthroughs, I guess, or at least was before I missed this train a bunch of years ago. Man armed with the Tech 9 in the firing squad, Mr. Fountainhead.
Both Kevin and I are kind of being poster boys for doing this the old school way, live in front of a camera in one take. And we can both testify to the fact that it takes on average between 30 and 100 takes of a song. The standards of production, especially in modern metal, have increased so much over the years that what you will be hearing on a mixed, mastered, and released album will often be recorded in millions of different takes. It will be edited, it will be quantized to a grid, it will be reamped, it will be post-processed in all kinds of ways to give you that hyper precise, hyper clean, and even almost mechanical feel that people are apparently gravitating towards in the metal industry.
Yes, this is true. Music today is going to be recorded in sections. It's just more efficient. It's smarter. There's like no reason why you wouldn't really do it that way anymore. You pay for your time in a studio, or you have to do it yourself, and you only have so much time because the world wants to see new shit all the time. Your time is valuable. So like doing 300 takes just for one guitar playthrough, that might not get even any views. It's just stupid. It's admirable, but it's not necessary. It's just not efficient. Heck, it ain't even practical. God, can you imagine? Oh, so what have we learned here today? Basically that the internet always assumes your guitar videos also feature live raw audio to match, unless clearly stated otherwise. And 2, if you use any modern recording techniques or technology in general, you must reveal all your secrets. Tell us what fucking plugins you use to make a bird fly out of my ass, and no one will really have a problem. And 3, K-Mac is the undisputed best music YouTuber. All right, enough talk. Now that we've met the band, it's time to actually like get to writing. I'm going to be fully exposing myself to you musically. I'm going to show you all of my punch-ins, my entire process, all with one thing in mind: to create a song that sounds as much like Buried Alive video as possible, right? Like we basically want to get so good and close to it that Jason Richardson copyrights our video himself. So I'm never going to forget. And that's it. I mean, we learned about the band. We learned about, we wrote a whole new song that sounds like them. I think, maybe. And now we're going to put it all together in our very own song. And I'm going to put a guitar playthrough in this video right now that you're going to enjoy because it's an HD playthrough song. And it's all good. Hey, look at that. We're in part 2. Look at us. We're in like a digital audio workstation. You can see my whole song. You can see all the steps listed above. You can see at the very top, I have 1 through 6. Typically the through being 2, 3, 4, and 5, because this is a 6-part song. We have 6 parts up here, 6 steps. I'm also going to show you my Axe Effects patch real quick right here. You can see I used an alien lead. It's basically a harmonized Axe Effects patch. I got a couple amps on here if you want to like pause and see the settings if you're an Axe Effects head, or if you use VSTs to do any of the stuff. It's a heavy patch with a harmonizer on it. This intelligent harmonizer basically puts everything up 1/3. And it makes it sound like it's all harmonized and alien, which I think is how you sound like Buried Alive, Rings of Saturn. Basically, a lot of harmonized metal music is just harmonizing in thirds. But that's how I did it. As the patch I'm going to use. I'm not going to use this patch for playing today. I'm going to just use a regular ass heavy patch so that you can kind of hear. Like the individual notes, which is probably going to sound a lot more like shit, especially because I'm listening with one headphone. But there you go. 6 parts here. There's the Axe Effects patch. Quick disclaimer, really quick. I am not a good guitarist. I am not Buried Alive. I am not Jack Gardner. I am not even a band. The point here is that you, if you're watching this at home, you can do this because I can do this. And you're going to watch me make music the way I like to make it, which might be wrong and stupid and not sound anything like the artist at all. But this is just my attempt at writing music like the people I love, because that's how I like to challenge myself. It's just for fun. So here we go. Let's go ahead and start with the very first part of the song. You can see these yellow tracks are the alien harmonized rhythms I recorded. We got some drums on top and some bass. We can just throw on some drums and bass. And before I show you exactly how I play this riff, because it's actually kind of easy, you can see here there's a ton of cutting. A ton of cuts. Because I don't have a kill switch on this guitar. See, this is a Kiesel, and even though Kiesel starts with a K, one thing it does not have is a button right here that just kill switches everything. So what I did instead is I played on my whammy bar. But I basically took those this kill switch motion and did it on my whammy bar instead. And then in post, I just cut up the harmonics to sound like I was kill switching them instead of whammying them a bunch. So the result is like this kind of whammied, kind of kill switchy sounding shit that I put some synth over it. And there you go. That's step one, the kill switchy harmonics riff. Step two, this is called the glitchy alarm tap riffs. This is like a glitchy alarm clock because you just got this fucking noise. That's kind of an alarm clock going like this. And you basically put those two notes together. Because your fourth string and second string sound like dissonant alarm clock, wake up, panic. And that's the kind of the point of the riff. Part 3, right here. Boom. This little chunk right here, I named the Chromatic Staircase because what I'm playing is a lot of chromatic notes, meaning notes separated by one fret. And I make a staircase with my fingers, kind of going up one string, up one fret. And that kind of like forms a little staircase to me. You can see all those. This is very cut. I recorded all of the triplets, because there's triplet chugs in this riff. I recorded all the triplet chugs by themselves. You can hear those very chugs that start the riff. There's no way I'm going to play those exactly clean, picture perfect every time in between all of this shredding nonsense because I don't practice. So what basically that happened is I recorded these two chugs and then this Chromatic Staircase. And then I did it down 1/2 step. I'll show you exactly what I mean. Part 4, here we go. This little section right here, this I called the octave chords with pick scrapes because it starts with a big old fat octave chord, meaning a chord just made out of 2 notes. On my G string and high E string. But I'm basically going to hit a octave chord and slide all the way down and then hit an open E. And then I do my favorite. This is so fun. The pick scrapes, which is basically just muting with all of your hand, just muting the entire fretboard and just taking your pick and just scraping it. Fucking Tom Morello ass shit right there. Let's listen to the riff, shall we? Step 5. Okay, so what we're going to do for this part is we're going to save all of the evilness that we have in our evil harmonic minor scale, and we're going to put it away, all right? No more of this shit. We're going to go to melodic minor. We want pretty. We want genuinely pretty sounds. We want... because it's happy, right? So for this part, we're basically going to be chugging on our B string, maybe adding some high, just embellishment notes just for the chords. And really, we're just going to set the groundwork for a pretty solo. We want pretty, we want fluid, we want buttery. I'm just going to go ahead and hit play on the riff one time and let you guys listen to it, and then I'll explain really what I'm talking about. It's basically just chugging, a little bit of high notes to just, put some high open strings on there. Basically, the first half of part 5 is to set up the solo. Second half of part 5 is to knock it down with a smooth, buttery solo that I don't think I can remember. Okay. Oh, sorry. Buttery. Pickup selector. To butter mode. My bad. That was completely my bad. Nice. And finally, part 6. The evil part. Where we get to actually just unleash our evil anger in the forms of ones and zeros. Actually, there are no zeros. It is a 2-1. A 2-1 chord on your bottom 2 strings, because 2-1 creates that dissonance. And that's going to be this very staccato way. You can see this riff number here, number 6. It's very chopped up on the rhythms, and we just got one big kind of part by part, actually not too chopped up solo that I will explain after we hear the rhythms. So obviously the star of the show is going to be the solo, which is going to start out with this very evil, because this is the evil part. That is the evilest sweeping pattern. And then of course we have some tasteful, try to be melodic bending. Did I even you can hear this bend? Has a whammy bar on it. A lot of pinch harmonics, a lot of whammy bars, a lot of just playing around with the notes. Got a little chromatic tapping ending there. Just pentatonic moving up with your first finger and your pinky. don't know, that's just a lot of the same sweeping pattern, literally from the intro also. But like in fourths and stuff. And there you go. That's the solo. There you go. We're done. We did it. We learned like one of my favorite bands. I showed you my entire songwriting process for how to write like them. And now we're just going to put it all together in one big ol' HD playthrough at the end. And yeah. But before I play the final HD playthrough, I want to first quickly give a shout out to everyone that I mentioned in this video. Berried Alive, obviously, Davi Das, Jack Gardner, Levi Clay, Leon Todd, like everybody that I mentioned in this video. Please go watch their channels. If you like music, if you like comedy, if you like any mixture of both, then go check out their channels. I criminally summarized all of their points for the purpose of not making this a 6-hour-long YouTube video. It already kind of ended up being super long anyway, so I really had to trim shit down, but please go support all of the YouTubers in this because they all have such amazing YouTube channels and they're all such good players. If you want to talk more with me about what cheating is on guitar and what's not okay and what's not and what is okay, maybe check out me on my socials, on my Facebook, Instagram. I got a Twitter even. Maybe there'll be something exclusive over there. I don't know. Like my patrons, who on Patreon they get exclusive access to older, now deleted YouTube videos of mine that had to get taken down from YouTube for one reason or another. And yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please enjoy the playthrough. I am not a band. This has been How to Write Like Berried Alive.
They will literally flatten our world. Every city, trample every tree and flower. And you promise pay. So please, we must join as one.